Okay, with the filmmaking team of Sequoia Spirits, Cherie and David are with us, the directors. This is a nature vertical dance film, I guess you would call it, I guess, right? But it's one with nature, one with arts, kind of combining the two together. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have to say right off the bat, like, I'm allowed to say it's pretty cool to watch this film, like what these dancers are doing. Like it's aerial, they're kind of dancing in on strings, I guess.
Yeah, on ropes, rope and
Um,
harness.
so, but it's called vertical dance.
It is, but being on the wall or being on a surface that is perpendicular to the ground is vertical dancing, but it's all aerial dance, and that's what we do.
And you've been doing this, I guess, according to your bio, for over 30 years, correct?
Yeah. Long time.
How does one get into aerial dance?
Um, the I the idea um of getting away from gravity and having fun. I've always been intrigued with taking dance into new forms. And when I saw an aerial dance production 30 years ago in Houston, Texas, I was blown away. It's like, I want to do that. So it's just it's sculptural, it's looking at the body in a different way and sculpting the space in unusual pathways. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful, and they're safe, right? They're when they're doing the dance, you're safe.
Yes, yes, we make sure they are safe. We have a safety check and a rigger with us the whole time who checks them every time they go up. Yeah.
So, how did you and David meet originally?
David, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we met through a person that lived in the same house, different part of it, like a duplex, as Cherie. And during COVID, Cherie and I, well, we were both kind of isolated. I was able to keep with my singing group, and the leader of my singing group, David Worm, was lived in the same duplex that Cherie lived in at the time, and she was cooped up. We were all frustrated, couldn't really, what things we do. I direct on a daily basis. Cherie choreographs on a daily basis, so there's contact with people all the time. During COVID, everything was cut off. So I was able to continue to hook up with my singing group, and Cherie placed one of her star dancers, a gal named Helium, in a classic 56 Porsche something or other, and had choreographed this, cool little dance called Alone Together. She filmed it with her iPhone, and through David Worm said, "Hey, do you know anybody can edit this?" And Worm said yes, so I did edit it, and it ended up getting, I don't know, dozens of awards around the world, and launched us into a series of, I think this is our seventh or eighth collaboration
Oh
with
wow.
Cherie choreographs, designs, produces, and then, facilitates the dancers during the thing. And then I direct the cameras and
Mhm.
make it film it, turn it into a film, and then edit it and do the sound and all the, all the other stuff. So the two of us make a pretty good team in
Yeah,
that.
great team.
You
So you
do.
guys met like four and a half years ago, and you worked on 8 projects in 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
7 or 8? Is it? It's
I
eight,
think
right?
it's seven. I think it's
Or
seven.
it's seven.
Okay.
Okay.
But we are taking on this new project in San Francisco, so
Yeah.
that
That's
could
amazing.
tag on.
Yeah. So in a way, COVID was good for you, good to for your relationship.
Oh yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So I'm curious about the music. I love the music in this film. The violins, just perfect for what the tone of the film is. Was the music already like established before you started filming?
Yeah, it's a cello,
Yeah. Oh, did
and
I say violins? I meant the cello. I apologize.
that's okay. It's all string instruments, and he's a guy and a musician in Atlanta, Georgia. I used to live in Atlanta, and we have mutual friends. See, this is a small world. We
Yeah.
all get to know each other, and we all start to connect each other through this wonderful tiny little web that we have. And so I heard his music. I've used it before, and we've had a great relationship. And so when this came up, I thought of him. He had just created some new music, and I just fell in love with it. So yeah, it was already created.
So
Yeah.
it was 12 minutes was the film. Like yeah, you guys had 12 minutes in mind when before you started shooting?
No,
No.
Oh,
not really.
okay.
With I think the dance is it's there's actually three dances in there.
Yeah.
And what, two? They danced to three different songs, or one of them twice, Cherie? How does that?
Um, they danced to two songs.
Two songs, right?
Yeah, and yeah, it was two
Yeah.
songs.
So we came up with this concept of the big, of the dancers being spirits of the woods.
Mhm.
Uh, and so we just kind of took that theme and then assigned water, fire, and earth to the three. And then, almost as an improv exercise, we shot them in the forest, just giving them direction. Look here, look there, look up, left. Oh, you're doing this, blah, you're going to meet, you hear something, da da da. So that's the prelude. The prelude is them kind of coming out of the earth. The elements come out of the earth,
Mhm.
and then the dance happens, and then they go back, they disappear, thin air a couple times throughout, and then they go back into the forest at the end, and the camera goes off into the clouds, from the trees to the clouds again.
Gotcha. And it's like you're on like kind of shooting on handheld, kind of like they're kind of you're kind of giving them like their perspective of seeing things for the first time, I guess, right?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
It was also really beautiful because this was a wonderful little forest that we were in, and
Which I'm gonna
part
get to, yeah, yeah. It's a location in itself. Like it's sorry, it's a character in itself.
it is, and there's burned out pieces of the redwood tree, and so we started playing in that, and that became one of the connections to fire. The fire that affects the redwoods, and that's a part of it, and how they survive it, and just, the whole network. The redwood trees have a huge network underneath the ground, as well as, their relationship to each other and supporting each other. And um, I think David's um, ideas of bringing the creek in, and we wanted to get you know, water in, and just all the different elements that were in that forest.
So where is the forest exactly?
And Mendocino. It's on the private property.
It's about 2.5 hours maybe north of San Francisco on the coast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fort Bragg, yeah, so
So it's
northwest.
close to the border then, like the Oregon border, or
No, no, no. We're probably what, 4 to 6 hours from the border.
okay,
Just a little north of mid-state here.
okay,
Yeah, so
gotcha.
you could take another couple hours and you'll be up
Got
in
okay.
Mendocino.
But
So
that opening scene of, seeing the ocean, the redwoods are right next to the ocean.
Yeah,
It's just
we're on the coast.
incredible. And one of the things I'm really fascinated about is sort of highlighting the beauty of California and the different films that we're creating. And so just that idea of, right off these cliffs and these beautiful ocean, sandy beaches are these incredibly tall, gorgeous trees.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. And so, okay, so then basically you like it's you said it was a private look. Where did you know the location before or did you scout it? Like what was how did you find it?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
It's a friend of mine who does this kind of work as well.
Okay.
Once we reconnected, it was a really simple thing to do, but it kind of fell in our laps. And sometimes, scouting something and looking for places when they do that, it feels like it's the right thing.
So you had three dancers. Did you know them personally before you started shooting? Like, did you have a relationship with them before?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They're part of my company. I have Upswing Aerial Dance Company, and all the other projects that I've done with David, the other 6 projects are all with the company as well. You know,
And what motivates them to do the film? Just something just like I'm sure they like excited to do the film. Like I'm just curious about what
oh
they
yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah. The to be on the Redwoods is quite an impressive and beautiful thing. The bark is actually soft and they're barefoot. And so the pushing off and landing, it's like being on a cushion. So it was very exciting to them. They couldn't wait to do it. And actually, once we got up, and they were worried about being able to have endurance, but once they got up, they were so excited. They kept saying, "We'll do it again."
But
Yeah, being able to make a film out of Cherie's choreography allows you to experience dance in a way that you just can't experience unless it's through film, right? The way that, we use drone shots and action cams and for coverage, right? So they're dancing on a horizontal tree even, right? So if you remember, there's shots in there where the tree is lying down and they're bouncing up and off
yeah,
this tree. Well, it was shot obviously this way, and we reoriented it that way. So it just gives, I think, the dancers a way and audience members just a new perspective on what the possibilities of dance and film can do when they're brought together in a nice harmonious way.
that's a great way to put it, and it's there forever too, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's a
exactly.
place that we wouldn't have really been able to bring an audience to.
no,
And if they were coming, the dancers are 30 feet in the air, so up to 40 feet. So it's a harder thing to see. So having David's cameras all the way up there and on them, at one point we had them on one of the dancers, so you got her view.
yeah.
It just makes it more intimate and makes it really the experience that I would love for people to have when they see my work.
Well, it's fair to say if done right, and you guys obviously did it right. It's like they can go wrong in many ways, right? So the shooting, there's got to be a story. There's got to be emotion, right? And you guys obviously did that with all the elements of filmmaking. So when you choreograph it, you have the studio because on your website, upswingaerialdancing.org, so this is a studio that you have. So I'm assuming you're kind of rehearsing with them before you go to the forest.
Yeah, we did. We created the work as best we could because we weren't 30 feet in the air.
Yeah.
So we created 3 sections and said, imagine this and imagine that. So once we got up there, we adapted. So it's site adapted. I love site specific work. But when you create it in one place and you take it to another, it's site adapted.
Mhm.
And that's what we did. And they did a beautiful job.
And then yeah, they did an amazing job, right? So then you choreographed everything. So when you're shooting, you're kind of like they know what to do. They're just especially the air. You said you had the beginning team, the premise, you set them up with the elements and you have them in the air. So when you're shooting, you got like I think in your blog interview you said you had 4 cameras, correct? You're shooting
Mhm.
with 4 cameras.
That's correct. Yeah.
So you have I'm assuming you have a monitor, and then like, are you just directing them while they're in the air? Like, what's the process?
Cherie, yeah, Cherie works mainly with the dancers. You
Yeah,
know, if you don't mind, Cherie, when you rehearse on a flat wall and then you take that dance into a three-dimensional world, a round world, things change a little bit. So
yeah,
Cherie worked with them on the spot,
yeah,
working them through the dance in a beautiful way. And as that was happening, I had two camera people with me as well as myself on cameras, and I was like kind of choreographing them as Cherie's choreographing the dance.
yeah.
So I would like zoom in and so it was like two different kind of companies actually in a way going on simultaneously.
Yeah.
And we've worked together enough to know how to get the right coverage and what makes the most interesting shots and I know what I can basically use in post, and then yeah, so that's how we actually work together on the set.
Well said, David.
And you're just grabbing, like in a lot of ways, you're grabbing footage, right? And kind of figuring it out in editing. Like you're like, obviously it's there, but you're just kind of grabbing as much footage as you can.
Yeah, well, we know. I mean, I watched the rehearsals, so I know
Yeah.
what's coming, so I can prep my guys and the way that I like to do it is you shoot like a filmmaker, right? You get your coverage, you get it wide, you get the closers, and then you
Yeah.
get super close, and then you do the crazy stuff, right? The cool stuff, the swishes and swashes and zooms and packs, and you do all the kind of extra stuff on top. And then if Cherie can get, several good performances out of the group, and then that, boy, you should see the post-production phase. It's something else. A
How
lot
much,
of good footage to work with.
how many hours of footage did you shoot with the four cameras?
Oh my gosh. I hadn't even really calculated it because it would scare me away next
Yeah.
time. But I would say we probably shot what the dance is a total of what, 5 minutes of dance times three takes times four cameras, so whatever that math is, smarter people would have to figure that out.
So 15 times four, that's it. That's an hour. Yeah. Three takes. Yeah.
Yeah, but we were out there more than an
Oh,
hour.
I know. I know. I'm doing the math, right? 15 times
Yeah.
three
Yeah, I
times
think
four.
we probably had with the prelude stuff and all the nature stuff,
Yeah.
probably 3 hours of footage at least
Yeah, I
to put
believe
it
it.
that
Yeah.
way.
And
Yeah.
obviously the establishing, you got your, because you got the establishing shots with I'm assuming you're using a drone, kind of getting
Yeah.
the air. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. And so in terms of in terms of the costumes, like it's key to this film, kind of like because you don't want them to you want them to be there's continuity, but you don't want them to be lost in the aerial, lost in the ropes, lost in the trees, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The
You like the costume?
costumes were awesome. They
Yeah.
were great.
Yeah, I
Perfect
thought it was
color.
fantastic.
Perfect. Yeah.
And their
Yeah,
hair too, right? Like there's an individuality with each dancer too, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we wanted them to have their own spirit, their
Yeah.
own sort of look, even though, you know, we had continuity in the costumes. Yeah,
And they're human beings, so you can't kind of shoot for an hour straight. They're gonna get tired, even though they're probably in tremendous shape. Like they you have to like take a break and kind of like reset, I'm assuming.
yeah, yeah,
That kind of work is very, very taxing. These women
Yeah,
are in
one would
great
assume,
shape.
yeah.
And imagine hanging by your belt backwards with your
No, I
legs
can't imagine because I
upside
won't do it.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could, they would break us. You and I would be broken human beings.
yeah.
Sure, do you still do it? Like when you're like, do you still like aerial dance?
Do I?
Yeah.
I just choreograph and direct. I don't perform anymore.
So I called you Cherie. I apologize.
That's okay.
Yeah. I got to tell people I got a little crazy with the podcast. I was late for the first time in like ages where like had a little computer crash down and setting up. So I got a little frazzled because I hate wasting people's time. But
You made it.
basically, so then so you got to the editing room. So how does how does that relationship work? You said you have the song, you have the kind of like the music, and then you said that you didn't know how long like the film was going to be, but at the same time, you don't want to, there's got to be a beginning, middle, and end story. So how
Yeah,
does that
so
work?
we had to end up sourcing extra music actually. Well, I went online and listened to other stuff because I needed more music. The two songs wasn't quite enough. So basically
Okay.
what our process is when we're recording, we have a boombox on set, right? So it's picking up Cherie's direction, everybody's direction, but it's also recording the soundtrack. Then I just lay down that track first, then I stack up all uh my best takes basically
Mhm.
on top of each other. So I try to sync everything up and then I go and it's a process of elimination, really. This doesn't work, so I remove everything that doesn't work, and then I just kind of prioritize what does work. I really work. I let the material, especially in this work with Cherie's uh, choreography, it kind of takes over and tells me what to do with it. The material really kind of, I'm lucky to be able to follow the muse that's right in front of me. It's it's a lot of work. Don't underestimate
No,
what I'm saying, but yeah, just by process of elimination, I pull it out. There's gems. Then I just kind of like how we shoot, right? You get the basics down, and then you do layers and dissolves and add the things that can really kind of enhance the dance. I'm always wanting to make sure that the dance is what the dance is supposed to be. So Cherie is in the process the whole time, like guiding me, as it were.
gotcha. Do you, Sherry, do you like the editing process, the post-production process?
Love it. And I love the way he works. So, it's, um, it has a real rhythm to it. And because we've been doing this for a while, he kind of picks up on things that he knows I'm going to like. He knows that the shots I will not like, and he will, make sure that those aren't there. And so it's just fine tuning. By the time he gets to me, many times it's about, no, this movement needs to happen on this sound. And so we'll tweak it a little bit. So it's the fine tuning that, and then there's occasional things that may come up, but David, knows how to lay it down.
Were you worried that 12 minutes was too long for the,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was. Uh, Originally it was going to be about 6 minutes and 2 minutes, so we're 8 to 9 minutes. So I thought maybe 10 with the new, with the beginning, sort of establishing the characters. But then when I saw how David put it together, it made sense. And we just, we went back to Corey and asked him if we could use another piece of his music, and he said, sure. So, yeah. He has beautiful music. You should check him out.
no, I said right after the beginning. I loved the music so much. It just fit the story so well. Like it was just a perfect match.
Ah, thanks.
And you can
Thanks.
tell you're editing to the music. So it was like, yeah, fantastic job. What did the performers think of the film?
Oh, they really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We, they've seen it a couple of times, and, performers are how they are. Some like to watch themselves, some don't like to see themselves. They're their worst critics.
Sure.
But in general, they really love the way it comes together. And they've been watching this with David and I now for, like I said, this is our seventh one. So they've seen the how things change from being in the studio to being in front of the camera to what the camera puts, what David puts together after. And so the storyline shifts a little bit and it's beautiful.
So so there's say you're a dancer, like you've been dancing as a child, and then I want to do aerial dancing, and they go to your studio. What's the process? Like I'm assuming you have to be a certain age to do this. And
We have a few classes. We're mostly a dance company um, that offers some classes. So we're not like a circus studio that's all about circus.
gotcha.
And so We have a few classes. We call them Girls Who Fly and Teens Who Fly, and it starts at age 9. And so they get to come in and experience it and learn, and it's a really amazing process to see the development of someone who stays in the program, which we've had people who've started as 9-year-olds, one who was 8, snuck in, and who go all the way through to high school and then go to college. And now we have a couple of people who've come back either as adults to take class or to teach it. So it has a whole life of its own. We also teach adults, and then we have the professional company who, we work with and tour and, do these beautiful films.
So you have performances on your, it says upcoming performances, adult classes, youth classes. You have a summer camp, workshops.
Yeah, we have a summer camp we did this year, a couple of years now.
Yeah. How was that experience?
They love it, a
Yeah, I
week
bet.
long of just being exhausted and burning hands and tired muscles. And then at the end on Friday, they get to show off what they did to their parents and siblings, and they just are in heaven.
And they get a lot of these people, a lot of these your students and go join the circus.
A couple of them have,
Yeah.
a couple have gone on. But even if they don't,
Sure. Yeah.
dance is a powerful tool for developing a person. Everything from, building your self-esteem and problem solving and learning how to work with a group and learning how to trust yourself. And then when you put yourself not only in dance, but upside down in aerial dance, now you're looking at the world totally different. And
Yeah.
it opens something in the brain that is powerful, And these young girls become really talented, creative human beings.
Yeah, I bet. No, everything you just described is that I see my daughter in dance. And I see the same thing where like none of these kids are going to be well hype like ideally are like if we're being realistic are not going to be professional dancers, but they're learning so much about like you said teamwork, discipline, like doing a choreography together. Like everybody's got a there's so much all these kind of all these kind of discipline skills that when you go to adulthood is the same, right? And you're just it's so great what they're doing. So yeah, so I totally understand. But then yeah, like you said, add it to being in the air and upside down. That just adds a whole literally it adds a whole other dimension.
Yeah, it sure does.
And there's you have a birthday class too, right? So if you have a birthday party, you can go to
You can, you can. That's a fun thing to do as well, just to have a one-time experience and I love that ability to introduce people to the arts in all different ways. So, um,
yeah, you should expand to Toronto. I would do my birthday party there.
we've had adults do their birthday parties as
Yeah,
well.
for sure. I would like to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not joking around. I would like,
I know. It's fun. It really is.
yeah,
I'm gonna get in the harness one of these days, Cherie.
you should.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, we got you
I,
underwater this last one, so it's not much
Oh,
longer.
wow.
well, I grew up in trees, so I'm pretty. I can climb. So get me up there.
Oh,
See what happens. Spin me around.
all right. You asked for it. I'll do it.
Are you going to put these films on your website, like eventually, or
Say that again.
are you going to put the films on the website on your website?
Right now, many of the films are still in the festival circuit, so I can't. Um, but we have a few of them up on YouTube now that have gone through the festival network and is moved on. Last year, David and I did a showing, a local showing of 6 of the films all in one place, plus a couple that David has done with other people.
Mhm.
and just rented the theater and showed our work and showed all of it in one place, which is really nice to see everything in one place.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Our own little mini film festival.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
All
great.
just our work. Yeah, it was cool.
You just keep going. That's amazing. Is there like a big picture plan, or is there just working project to project?
Well, our next thing, right now, we're in December, I'm doing a show that is live, aerial, live music, and this film. And so we're going to sort of merge all these elements into a show, sort of a celebratory solstice show. And and then David is working with, we got this project for, do you know the Salesforce Tower in San Francisco?
No.
It's the tallest tower. It looks almost like a bullet.
Okay.
Tallest tower in San Francisco. It's the second tallest in west of the Mississippi. I think LA has the tallest. And anyway, they have a what they call the art top or top art. And the top, was it 3 stories, David?
Oh,
Uh,
at least. Yeah.
5 stories
I would
is
say 5 minimum. Yeah.
is art. And so we're going to be the guest artist for February. And it'll be scenes from Sequoia Spirits that'll be presented
Yeah.
at the top of this building.
The top of the tower has a 360-degree screen that goes around it. That's 5 story, 3 or 4 or 5
Oh,
stories
gotcha.
tall, 360. So I'm reformatting the film now to play on that screen. So it'll be seen. You can see it from from Berkeley, Oakland. You can see it from all over San Francisco. It's quite a honor to have our work up there. I'm in the
That's
process
amazing.
of recutting this film, Sequoia Spirits, for that right now. That'll be February.
And so what is the, just from a curiosity standpoint, what's the process to do that, to kind of recut it like that?
So I'm learning this as we
Yeah,
speak.
because it's,
Basically,
yeah,
there's a template. They created a template. So instead of having like a format like HD, it's more
yeah,
like this. It's long and thin and wraps. So it's 360. So there's a template that they had built, created, that I just lay over my Premiere, my timeline, right? So I put my video down, our video down, then the template on top. So you can see, and then I just adjust our video to fit within that space, basically. And then there are certain things that quick cuts that that don't really play that well. So long, smooth, colorful, bold, graphic shots that would play well on this. We're not really telling a narrative at this point. We're just showing the
yeah,
redwoods and the dancers on the tallest building on
yeah.
north of LA.
Wow. And hopefully you shoot that, like you kind of like have some covered footage of
Oh, we
that.
will.
Yeah.
We will. Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. I thought you were gonna go like they're gonna climb the tower, or they're gonna do aerial in the tower, but maybe later on.
Maybe later on. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. The films, listen, I'm fortunate enough to watch a lot of dance films in the last like 4 or 5 years, and this one's memorable, and for many reasons. Obviously, the aerial, the dancing's top notch as well, but the choreography, but also the shooting. It's just a really great film on many levels. So we're proud to show it, and we wish you guys the best of luck. Well, it seems like you're already there, doing what and going on the festival circuit, getting in many festivals. That's the building there. Okay, yeah. That's the Golden Gate Bridge right beside it.
That's the Bay Bridge, but yeah, that's
Maybe. See,
basically
look at
what
me.
it'll
I'm an
look like.
Eastern guy. I got to get my information. Okay.
Yeah, but yes,
Yeah.
that's our next canvas.
Gotcha. And now you guys have driverless cars in San Francisco too, right? I heard Mike.
Yeah, we do.
How's that?
It's interesting. It's very interesting to see them drive around or just, show up.
It is kind of weird, isn't it? From our
It
generation.
is.
Yeah.
It's a little unnerving, but
Yeah.
I think there's actually invisible people in there, so it gives me a little more comfort.
That would make me even more uncomfortable. Invisible people, like
That's great.
yeah. All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank
Looking
you,
for
Matthew.
any future films of yours in the future, and love to talk to you guys again.
Sounds wonderful.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for your time, Matthew.